Welcome back to the Magic Academy. Today we'll be exploring Friday the 13th, lucky or unlucky. Stay tuned. Okay, thanks for tuning in, you guys. Today we're going to be discovering and talking about Friday the 13th. Is it lucky or unlucky? Yesterday was Friday the 13th, and I wanted to get this video up earlier. I just didn't do it. I did get the blog post up in time, but the video I didn't get finished because, or even started, because I was doing cookies for you guys. So we did the cookies first, and priorities. That's where we're at. Okay, so let's talk about Friday the 13th. You can find and read this blog post in the description below on my website, so that'll be posted for you guys. In this post, we go over first. Let's ask, what is luck? So luck, good or bad success or failure, often brought by chance, but sometimes from one's own actions. So sometimes luck is getting everything we work for, good or bad. Sometimes luck is just a free prize, like it or not, that we get whether we want it or not. Next, what is an omen? Because that's one of the words that kind of floats around when we talk about, Friday the 13th or the number 13 or other things that are associated with being unlucky. So what's an omen? Often people see 13 or other symbols like 13 as omens. Omens are warning signs from spirit or spiritual realms that are not always ill-fated or negative. Some magical beliefs fear all omens. They have the idea that all omens are a negative reach to the practitioner or person. They believe that omens foretell unavoidable ill fate. Now, I would be afraid of them too if that was the case. And this is not the case. Even when an omen has a negative message, it is just a symbol, okay? Just a symbol or a road sign to help us steer clear of harm or keep on our path and keep out of danger. They can help us avoid chaos, just like road signs in real life. And I prefer to call signs from the spiritual realm symbolism. When I notice a symbolism, I just look it up, evaluate my life, and decide what I am doing and what it has to do, what I'm doing right at that moment that message has to tell me, or that it may be telling me in the future. We are magical beings, so we create, and therefore we do not fear messages from spirit because we can manifest a different story and a different outcome than fear. Okay, than what, anything that you might be fearing that it could be saying to you, you can manifest something totally differently. You have the tools at your hand. You just, make it happen for yourself. We'll get into a little bit more about your questions on that I know you're having a little bit later on. Okay, so then let's explore what superstitions are. What's a superstition? A superstition is a belief in the supernatural causation. A little bit different than omen. So it's a deliberate action from spiritual beings. That's the idea of a superstitions or supernatural causation. So a superstitious person will see a sign or an omen as a deliberate act based on fear, usually from a spirit. Okay, this mindset typically comes from spiritual paths that see spirit as all powerful and having a higher rank and power over humans and the mundane world. So in a path like Wicca or those of Celtic origins, we do not believe that spirit outranks the mundane. Okay, and there are many other beliefs that feel the same way. Spirit does not outrank the mundane realm. We believe in equality and balance. Therefore, we see a symbol that may seem harmful or deliberate or of a deliberate ill fate from a supernatural being, we address it by banishing the harm immediately. We get right to it, right, guys? Harm none, and we don't have to allow it. So we clear that bad juju right then and there. You know, a little white sage helps out. Which I didn't have my, just some nice smudging. Just smudge it out of your life. Clear the energy first of all. Starting with that would be great. Blessed water, anything you can do like that. We also take control of our fate and even create or hold a ritual if needed to call on our deity for protection, and may even bind the harm and banish it from our lives from it even happening. However, most of the time, symbols are just road signs like a tarot reading. Okay, so now let's see what causes this negative hype over the number 13, because there is a lot of negativity around it. I mean, of course. I mean, look at all the scary movies that go with it. And where does it come from? I mean, if it's such a magical number, which we'll get into how it's magical later, where does this come from? It's definitely got hundreds of years of history with it. So where does it come from? So I've listed the top 8 bases in history for the superstition around the number 13 and Friday the 13th. So it's kind of all mixed in there. So we'll start with number 8. The Hindus believed that it was unlucky for 13 people to gather in one place. So the Hindus have a belief in the negativity of 13. October 13th, 1307, the Pope of the Roman Catholic Church and King of France ordered the execution of the order called the Knights of Templar. Friday is the 6th day of the week in the Greco-Roman calendar, where Sunday was the first day. In the Old World calendar, however, Monday is the first day of the week. Therefore, Friday was day number 5. 6 is associated with the Antichrist in the Bible. And the Bible is considered a high authority on all things religious by many, many people, and especially many people that have a lot of fears of supernatural. As well as Adam and Eve were evicted from the Garden of Eden, the start of the Great Flood, and the crucifixion of Jesus all happened on Fridays. Interesting, isn't it? Prisoners were executed on Fridays. The Last Supper had 13 guests at the table, and the 13th person being Judas, the traitor. Scandinavians believe 13 signified bad luck because their 13th mythological demigod Loki was an evil one who brought great misfortune upon humans. And the number 1 belief, this is what I put for number 1 in my list here, the belief that the number 13 represents femininity and ancient feminist cults and beliefs, in other words, witches, that worshipped a goddess and a 13 lunar cycle of the year as they correspond to a woman's menstrual cycle. And I'll just throw this in there. Of course, in Greek mythology, we know that woman was unleashed on the world from Pandora's box, and yeah, so, that great evil. There you go. That's my top 8 list. So as you can see, the belief about 13 and Friday being unlucky comes a lot from the Roman beliefs and the Christian beliefs. So from the time frame in the world where Christianity was spreading across the world around the start of the Roman calendar, right? That's where we can time frame that. And from that time on, there were more and more superstitions associated with 13 and Friday. So, finally, let's examine the numerology of 13, shall we? Okay, so we're going to break it apart. We're going to start with number 1. Then we'll do the numerology of number 3. We'll do the numerology of 1 plus 3, 1 plus 3 being 4. And then we'll just look at 13. Okay, so 1. 1 is the tarot card that we have after 0, which means we have a beginning. We have solidarity. Something has formed at this point in time with number one. The unknown is revealed, and nothing is now something, and new beginnings are also associated with one. Okay, so one is a great number, a fantastic number. And then three is two parts working together towards a common whole. So if you kind of think about number three as you have one and one, and they're working together as a common whole. Do you see you get your triangle? It creates a stability in its own. It's creative. It's expansive, so it helps with expansion. It's part of growth and cycles. We have the triple moon goddess, the Celtic triple moon goddess, the maiden, mother, and crone, that symbolize the number three. So, in other words, three represents life, death, and rebirth as well. So, number four, stability. Because we have balance in number four, we have established authority. Okay, the reason we have balance in number four is because we have two and we have two, which we've got balance and balance. You can have two sides that have come together, two structures that have come together that form another whole. It's an amazing number. It gives you grounded energy. It's also very supportive. It's excellent for foundations and forming foundations, of course, because every house has four walls in a basic structure. So the four elements, the four seasons, it's an incredibly magical number. It is there to help you. So 4 is great. So 1 plus 3 equal 4. There's no bad luck there, you guys. And then finally, just number 13 by itself. Number 13 represents the 13 lunar cycles of the triple moon goddess in magic. So that's one of the representations of it that really helps our life. Now, why is that important? Well, because 13 lunar cycles, and every single lunar cycle is life, death, and rebirth, but 13 of them, at the end of that 13, we start that cycle all over again. So do you see that number 13 is a major wheel of events at that point? It's a major turn in the wheel. It's a whole that's come and starting again. So come to fruition is associated with that as well. So all feminine matters, of course, which would be family, health, creativity, creation, supportiveness, protection, cycles of life, death, and rebirth, endings, and last harvest, because 13, it being the 13th moon of the year, then of course we have our endings. Now, this is probably where we get the association of death with number 13 and the tarot card being number 13. Okay, the tarot death card being number 13. That's probably some of the reasons why we have that, is because, 13 right there, it is the end of that major cycle. So, and things are going to begin new, and at the end, at endings like that, many things do come to an end. You're going to have endings. You can't avoid endings in life. But with endings, we have new beginnings. So contemplate on that. Let me get to the number 13 card here. Oh, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in this. Let's see if we will be able to. I shouldn't have picked this deck. And I've got them out of order. Beautiful card. Do you guys see that? Can you see that? So, he who governs 13 does govern the endings, but also beginnings. So it's a beautiful time, and a sorrowful time. You're going to have your endings in life. That's how we progress as well. That is part of life. Let me get another one for you guys. Oh, and these are all out of place too. I've been doing readings, so my cards are not in order. Okay, so here's one right here. Transfiguration. Okay, there's another one. So you can see that the number 13 plays a major role in death, but also in life equally, completely equally. The problem is that so many things are at maturity at the phase of 13 in our lives. A year has come to pass, everything has matured, you've gone through every single season, and at that 13th moon, at that 13th cycle, it's hard to see our endings. It really is, and we have to give them the respect that they deserve as they're leaving us. Yep, that's really important. They deserve our time and our respect, our contemplation, and that connectivity. That's fine. Spend your time, do that. But at the same time, the new life that's coming into you, that what has been rewarded to you to bless your next cycle, and all the new things that haven't even become number one yet in your life, that haven't even transformed into one into your life yet, haven't gone from 0 to 1, because you're hitting that 0 mark. Boom, 1 is going to, aces are coming into your life after 13. So those deserve your respect and time as well. Okay, you can't let what is taken from you in 13, not too much, of course, not too much, to where you can't benefit from what is new coming into your life. Okay, that new phase, that new cycle starting over with you. So that's number 13, and that's why it's so feared and so harsh. But as I said before, it's not something to be feared. And those that have a superstition or an omen belief, and you're totally freaked out by 13, may not be your belief. What I'm saying may not be for you. What I'm saying is for me and my belief, of course. And I'm sharing the wisdom of my belief and my understanding. In numerology, that's what the number means. That's where it's at. And so if you think that you're having that omen or superstitious, supernatural causation happening in your life, there we go, I couldn't find the word, a deliberate negativity from a supernatural being, you may need to get help from somebody that can help you banish that negativity that may be trying to take shape in your life. Somebody that's a professional at getting that cleared, if you can't look it up and do that yourself, of course. But don't let somebody's superstition tell you what to believe. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, you should be able to tell if it's harmful, if something, harmful negative energy is coming around. But get in the practice of clearing and getting to be a pro at clearing that negative energy, so that you can have that positive vibe in your life at all times. And you'll be able to tell if somebody comes around and plays that negative tone in your life. You'll be able to clear that tone out. You'll just be on vibe. And you have to get that way. I've had a really bad past 3 years, you guys, because my health went downhill right after I had to move, and my lease wouldn't get renewed, and blah, all that harm was happening to me, and I had a really tough time recouping from that. Just a lot of negative energy. I felt like so many people felt like they had one over on me, and I couldn't seem to overcome that feeling of being down, of being downtrodden, and being under, of not being the victorious one. You know what I'm saying? It's great when you're victorious, but it really sucks when somebody else that's being negative ends up being the victorious one over you. It's not fair. A negative person should never be victorious over someone who's being positive. And that did happen to me. And that kind of negativity, was just vibrating like a magnet that would not go away. I couldn't clear it for a long time. It was really, really heavy, and really harsh, influenced in my life. So, that happened, but that doesn't mean that 13 brought it my way or anything like that. Though that's just the cycles. Oh, okay, that's what I wanted to tell you guys about. So, like the Wheel of Fortune, okay? As the Wheel of Fortune turns in your life, you're going to have moments where it brings you, where your actions, what you sow, you of course you're going to get what you've sowed. You pay for something, you're going to get what you've paid for. But the Wheel of Fortune also brings us things that we don't know we're paying for, or we don't know that is coming our way because of our position in life. It's coming around to that position for us. So, just like the stars aligning, sometimes things just align for you, and negatively or positively. So you got to keep that cleared and be ready for spontaneous blessings as well, because they do happen. Okay, both of those can happen. And just be, I guess the two main things you need in your witch's cupboard is something to celebrate and thank the gods and goddesses for that are helping you, and appreciate that positive rewards when you don't expect them, as well as clearing herbs and positive vibe, whatever produces a positive vibe for you. Some essential oils, whatever kind of magical things that you use, crystals, whatever it is that helps you stay positive. Okay, so I hope this was really informative and you guys have made a decision. Friday the 13th, lucky or unlucky? I say lucky. Friday the 13th, and 13 can all be lucky. That last cycle is meant to be lucky for us. The crone goddess, she isn't there to give us a hard time as she transforms back into her maiden self. So she's there to bless us even in endings. She's loving even in endings. It's just hard to see sometimes. So, yeah, go read the blog post, would ya? That's in the description below. Please like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Blessed be.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Also, if you're looking for more, go ahead and click that video in the center of the screen and it'll take you to my playlists. You can also go to any of my social media and my website by clicking the description below. Blessed be.